Yes, queen.
Hey guys, welcome to my channel. If you haven't noticed, there's a monster behind me. His name is Leo, and don't let him distract you from this story time because it's important to me and I don't need you ruining stuff. Okay? Okay, so fair warning, this story time is about to be a little bit personal, though if you've been following my channel since, God, 2 years ago when I went to Korea, then you know that I do not filter my feelings. I tell you exactly how I feel, but this topic in particular is going to be really personal because it is about me getting an IUD. So if you don't want to watch this and you don't care, that's fine. You should at least subscribe and just watch my Korea videos because like K-pop's really mainstream right now. And I would just like to say I got into K-pop before BTS started performing at awards, but that's neither here nor there. So I don't even know where to begin with this story time. I guess first I should go into my history with birth control. I started taking the pill when I was like 15 or 16, and it wasn't because I was sexually active. It was because I wasn't having a consistent period, and I went like 6-7 months without a period. Then they did like the little ultrasound and they're like, oh my gosh, you might have a cyst on your ovaries. You know, you should get on the pill. That'll help like, you know, deal with all of that. And I was supposed to go in for a second ultrasound, but my mom was like, I ain't paying for that. So I got on the pill. And I have been on the pill. I have been on the pill for like, until I was like 21. Sometimes I forget how old I am. I swear I keep saying I'm 21 even though I'm 22 and I'm about to turn 23, God bless it. But anyway, yeah, I was on the pill for like 6-7 years and it was fine. Like I had no issue with the pills other than trying to remember to take it. And since I wasn't sexually active at the time when I started taking it, then it really wasn't that big of an issue, I didn't feel. And I had switched birth control pills like 2 or 3 times since I started taking them. The pills weren't bad. They weren't a huge inconvenience for me until I got into college and I started to get really busy. And when I traveled to Korea, that was the worst time, was because I couldn't get my pills and I couldn't like, boy, you gonna have to start chewing on that bone. It wasn't until I went to Korea that it really started to become an inconvenience for me because I couldn't like mass order the pills and take them with me. And so I went there with 1 pack, had to have my parents ship me another pack, and I just ended up completely skipping a whole month of pill. That's neither here nor there. So then when I realized that I was going to be coming to Germany, which that will be a whole video on itself as to how the hell I got into Germany. What is your issue? You want this moan, but you were so loud with it. You're so loud. Please. Coming to Germany, that I didn't want to deal with that whole thing that I had to deal with when I was in Korea, the whole getting my pills, making sure that I'm taking them at the right time. And I wasn't coming alone, I was here with my man, so that was especially important that I had to make sure I was taking my pills on time and doing what I needed to do. So I was like, you know what, before I even go to Germany, let me explore my options. And before even getting the IUD, I had never even heard of it. I didn't know what it was. I didn't know what it stood for. It wasn't until I was playing D&D, yeah, because I'm a nerd, and actually that game is really fun. And before anyone judges it like I did, you should play it. It's really fun, especially when you're with the right people and you have a bunch of wine. So fun. But my friend Megan, she was like, I got an IUD and it's awesome. It's the greatest thing ever because I have like the worst cramps, but with the IUD, it's like great. And I was like, oh, okay. And then I looked it up and I realized there were like 3 main different kinds: Mirena, Kyleena, and then there was the copper one. And so I looked into it and my friend had the Kyleena, so of course that was the main one that I knew about. And I looked into it, and people were like, the Kylena's smaller, the Mirena usually was for people who had kids already, and it was bigger, though that's changed. And even if you haven't had kids, you can still get that one, it's just bigger. So of course I did some more research into Kylena, and I realized that it lasted for 5 years, and I was like, that is great. That means I don't have to remember shit for 5 years, and then I can just like, you know, relax. I don't have to worry about picking up my pills. I learned also that the Kylena doesn't release a lot of hormones. I'm not a doctor, I'm just here to tell you exactly what happened to me and why I chose to get the IUD, because I know before I got mine, I watched like 12 million girls talk about their IUD. Everyone had a different story. Everyone had a different experience. So don't expect your experience to be like mine. And if it's not, then God bless you. But here's my experience. If you want to mentally prepare, I don't know if that really helped me. The process of me getting the IUD was hella fast. It was like one day I was doing research, the next day I was calling my doctor, the very next day my doctor scheduled me an appointment, and I was taking these pills because the time in which I was going to get my IUD was not on my period, and I've heard that doctors prefer you to be on your period when you get the IUD because something about your cervix being more relaxed or something. And so I ended up having to take some medicine a couple days before I went and got it, so it would relax me. And I could have sworn I felt my cervix. Like, not like me touching it, feeling it, but like I felt it, just like sitting here, I felt my cervix. It felt like it was like pulsing, like doing one of those. And I told my doctor that, and she was like, no, I think that was just in your head. No, you didn't feel what I felt. Usually I don't feel anything, but once I started taking that medicine, I just felt like a pulse, like that. Another thing is, and I hope your doctors tell you to do this, and I can't imagine them not, boy, you are the biggest distraction in the entire world. I love you so much, but you are so irritating. Any other time, you are quiet as a church mouse, but right now you want to turn up. As I was saying, I hope your doctors tell you to do this. And as far as what I've seen from other people's videos, it seems like other doctors have said this as well, is to make sure that you take some ibuprofen or some kind of like painkiller before you go in. And I did that before I went and got my thing, but I don't even know if that actually helped. I really don't. Okay, and side note, when I went there, I was going in there initially to get my pap smear because it was about that time. And I was like, you know what, let me just like get both of those things done at the same time. I mean, she already gonna have me wide open, might as well just slip that in there too, which may account for my experience being like a little worse than some. Did that, and I want to stress you guys, I was so nervous. Like, I am a wuss when it comes to pain. Like, I'm awful. I dread the moment that I have to give birth. I wish I could just burp a baby out because I want to be a mom. I just don't want to give birth. I took my mom with me and my 2 little sisters. Not that they had a choice because they can't drive, but they went with us. I get in there, and I don't even know, like, I feel like this lady was multitasking. I don't remember when the pap smear started and ended and when it became the IUD. I felt like she was doing like one of those, just like all kinds of stuff, just all up in my vajayjay. And I was so nervous. I really was, because I did not know what my pain level was going to be. And I think a fear of mine was I had heard people who had actually had children talk about getting their IUD and how it was worse than giving birth and worse than a contraction and stuff like that. And I had no frame of reference for that because I hadn't given birth and I hadn't had a contraction, obviously. So like, I don't know. I just thought of it like it was like a cramp that you get when you take like a laxative. I don't know if anyone else gets that, but after I take a laxative, I had the worst cramps ever. I'm not gonna lie, it hurt like a son of a bitch. And I have seen videos of people like showing the process, showing the inside of it, like what's happening. And I've heard that the worst part for some people is when they have to measure you to see like how deep you are, I guess. I don't know. I don't know the right terminology. If you want a real like scientific, like terminology based video, this is not the one. So I was mentally preparing for a pinch. I've never been pinched on the inside, so I didn't know what that would feel like. Remember correctly, that shit hurt. And I want to say I like had a pap smear before, so I've had them open me up and it didn't hurt that much. If anything, I felt like I was gonna fart in the lady's face. That was the only thing that I remember. And so going in and getting this, when she opened me up, I don't know why, but I felt the deepest cramp of my entire life. Like that's the best way I can explain it. Like a deep, deep cramp. You literally just opened me up. We haven't even started yet and we got 2 things to get done. I'm gonna die. I started to get really hot and I started to sweat and my doctor was like, breathe, breathe, breathe. And so I started doing the whole like, and then, but the pain started to get more intense. So my breathing started to get more intense. I went, and she was like, stop, stop, stop. You're gonna make yourself pass out. But I will say the best thing that happened for me that really helped me get through the pain, other than my mom being there, was the nurse gave me a cold, wet washcloth. And I don't know why. It was probably like a sensory thing, and she just put it on my head and it shocked me so much that I forgot about that pain and focused on this freezing cold washcloth on my head. And that was the best distraction I could have had. But I got through it, and you know, I got the IUD back in April. It's been about 5-6 months since I got the IUD, and I feel like it was worth it. Like those few 5 minutes, maybe less, I don't know, time seemed to move really slowly during that moment. I feel like that was worth what happened. Like the result is I don't have to worry about picking up pills, taking pills for the next 5 years. Like I don't have to worry about doing that. In the beginning, after I got the IUD, I of course was bleeding, and I've heard like that's normal for you to be spotting and doing that. And eventually I started having a period. I use that word lightly because my period was light for like 2 days, and it was like spotting. And I haven't had a period in 2 months, so fingers crossed we stay on that route and I don't have another one, because yeah, I hate having to make sure I have tampons and pads on me, and I also don't know when I'm gonna have a period because I don't have like a little thing to look at. After I got the IUD, I only felt like slight cramping, and I just felt uncomfortable, and I felt like I could feel the IUD. But it wasn't until that night after I got the IUD that I started having the worst cramps of my life. And again, this isn't for me to scare anyone, this is just me to tell you exactly how I felt in that moment, and your experience may be completely different from mine. I will say that it's always nice to invest in a heating pad. Even if you don't have these worst, terrible cramps, just having one on standby is great, because the last thing you want to do after you get an IUD is get up and do stuff. You want to sit down, let your body relax, because it has this foreign object in it and it's trying to like greet itself. I was having cramps and they were kind of keeping me up, and it hurt a lot, but this only lasted, I will say, about maybe a week, maybe 2 weeks. I don't know, maybe a week, maybe just a week. And I mean, it was bearable. I got through it. I didn't die. If anything, it gave me an excuse not to do shit, because when someone asked me to do something, I'd be like, oh my God, I'm just cramping so bad I can't do it. After 2 weeks with the IUD, I started to have the worst gas ever. Like, I could not control it. It would sneak up on me and it would be the loudest shit ever. And going to college, going to class, I was a nervous wreck every time I went to class, because I didn't know if I was going to fart in class, and then I'll have to explain, oh, I didn't do this on purpose, it just sneaked out. And people are going to be like, what you mean it sneaked out? You should have been able to hold that. And I couldn't. Like, I was a farting storm for like that whole next week. I could not tame that. Again, TMI, but like this whole video is pretty much like very personal about my experience with my IUD. And I will say, a month after having it, I went normal. Like, I wasn't feeling these intense cramps. I wasn't farting like it was nobody's business. I feel fine. I feel like the IUD was worth it. I wouldn't come on here and promote something like that, because again, it's all based on preference. And I know for me, I had to pay for it. I've heard of other people who went elsewhere and didn't have to pay for it. And I spent about $173 is what I spent. I would suggest before you go get it, if you decide it's right for you and your doctor agrees with you, well, you call your insurance and you make sure that they cover this. So yeah, of course, like, do your research. Maybe you're like, I don't like Kyleena, I want to do Mirena. I want to do another one that lasts longer, because Kyleena lasts 5 years, some last 10, some last more than that. So it honestly has to deal with your comfort level, your lifestyle, and just like, you know, if you feel like it's right for you. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I know this is different from any other video I've done, and Leo was a fucking distraction the whole fucking time. Just doing shit, just doing a bunch of shit. That's all he does, is do shit. Oh, and don't think this is my bed, this is his bed. My bed is in a different room. I put this here for him because I like to spoil my child. Leo. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you have any questions I did not cover, because something that I've expressed in my other videos, and I will express again, is that when I do a video, I don't come with like a script or anything. I'm like, I pick a topic, I start talking, and hope that all the right information comes out. So of course, if you guys have any questions for me that I can answer, of course I'll answer. So don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, follow me on Instagram, and yeah, we'll see you all next time. Bye!